Picture this. You're making $1.2 million a year. You have absolutely zero bosses breathing down your neck. You sleep in as late as you want, wake up to endless ocean views, and spend your afternoons fishing right off your own private balcony. And the actual work? You just have to babysit a single light bulb at the top of a tower. Make sure it stays on, and the money is yours. But there is a catch. You'll be working here, at La Jumente. It is widely considered the most dangerous workplace on the planet. Forget about calling out for help because no one is out there. You are completely isolated. During a storm, the noise is deafening, and those waves don't just splash the base. They crash tens of meters up the stone walls, violently shaking the entire structure. Which raises a pretty obvious question. Why would anyone pay a fortune to have a human being risk their life for a light bulb in the middle of a violent sea? The sheer existence of this position suggests that even in an age of satellite tracking, some parts of the ocean remain too dangerous to navigate without a physical, human-guarded warning. If you wanted to cross an ocean before GPS became publicly available in the late 1970s, you were essentially flying blind. Navigating the sheer emptiness of the Pacific or the Mediterranean meant sailors had to trust their lives to the stars, using tools like the sextant to calculate their position on a featureless horizon. If a thick layer of clouds rolled in at night, that star map vanished. Captains would instantly lose their bearings, wandering the open water for days as the crew slowly ran out of food and fresh drinking water. Even worse, those lost wooden ships would routinely barrel into shallow waters in pitch blackness, their hulls splintered against hidden underwater rocks, sending massive cargo loads and entire crews to the bottom. The water itself was dangerous, but the absolute impenetrable darkness of the night sea was the single greatest threat to human life and early global trade. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Egyptian city of Alexandria was a booming trade hub under King Ptolemy II. But to reach its ports, ships had to navigate a deadly maze of submerged stones. Tired of watching his trade fleet sink, Ptolemy brought in a brilliant architect named Sostratus. He needed a massive, unmistakable warning system built right on the coastline. They constructed the Pharos of Alexandria. It was a towering 384-foot structure of gleaming white marble, making it one of the largest ancient engineering projects. At the very top, an enormous fire burned continuously. Workers constantly fed it with heavy wood and oil, while a clever arrangement of early mirrors pushed the glow out over the water. As global shipping multiplied over the centuries, building safe warning towers on land wasn't enough. Engineers had to start constructing them directly in the middle of the deadliest, most turbulent ocean choke points and remote reefs. But there was a persistent flaw. Burning wood and oil didn't generate enough raw intensity to pierce through thick sea storms and stop ships from crashing. By the 1800s, engineers hit a wall. A standard flame naturally scatters its light in every direction, making it incredibly weak at a distance. If you tried focusing it with a solid glass lens, the glass had to be so thick that it actually blocked most of the light. Then a French physicist named Augustin-Jean Fresnel found a way out. He designed a radically thin glass structure, carved with precisely angled ridged glass to capture every drop of illumination. This diagram shows the problem. A standard bulb spills light everywhere, wasting energy. But surrounding that source with Fresnel's stepped ridges forces those rays onto a new path. The glass prisms bend escaping light directly toward the horizon. What was once a weak, diffuse glow becomes a concentrated beam, capable of piercing miles of dark, stormy weather. This design allowed a single lantern to do the work of a massive bonfire, extending the reach of a lighthouse for dozens of miles, and providing sailors with the crucial time they needed to safely change course. We eventually replaced oil fires with electric bulbs, but those delicate, highly calibrated optical prisms still demand constant care and human protection to remain clear and functional. This partnership between optical precision and human labor created a network of warning signs across the sea, making it possible to move cargo across the planet with a level of reliability that didn't exist before. Which brings us back to La Jumente. The crushing isolation hasn't changed. The 10-meter waves still violently smash against the stones, actively trying to tear the tower down. Knowing the fatal history of the seas and the delicate physics you are tasked with protecting, would you still take the $1.2 million job? Let me know in the comments.